All right. So let's see if this thing is working. Can you guys hear me? Is the video working? There we go. All right. So let's. I think I got this thing down now. All right. Well, hello, Terry. Hello, Gene. Hello, is it Sina? Senna? How do I say that? All right. Well, I hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm getting ready to start up for another week. And that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this on a Sunday is to kind of reset the mindset. So let's real quick. Anyone have any victories, scale victories, non-scale victories, mental victories that you want to share? That's always a big thing with me, especially is when you can train the brain to see things, be goal oriented, see a silver lining. That's always going to be a big plus, even when you have a mistake or a misstep. And I guess I'll go first. I did. Some of you know I am taking a break from caffeine, primarily coffee, but caffeine especially. So that's why even now it's decaf. Don't judge. But yeah, my audio not working. Terry, can you hear me? Gene, can you hear me? Check, check, check. Hello? Check, check. Cash, cash. Money order, money order. Let's see. All right. So let's see if this thing is working. Well, I do have audio coming through my phone. Okay. Turning that off. So anyway, so I'm taking a break from caffeine for the next 30 days. But I had a misstep, so my evil scheme, my plan, had a little bit of a hiccup. Hello, Shirley. Thank you. Had a hiccup. I number one, I got a little under the weather. Had some kind of sinusy thing going on. Well, guys, the sound is streaming, so maybe check your audio settings. Maybe you've got the video itself muted. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, and I started to go cold turkey, which may not be the best thing in the world to do, and I do know better. But yeah, so my little misstep was going cold turkey when I felt a little bit of a cold coming on, and knowing that I could very well have a caffeine headache. So I've actually had to have like about half a cup of regular coffee each day just to get me going. But today, I didn't have anything. So I just had some regular old decaf. So one of the things I've noticed too is my heart rate does seem to be lowering. So I'm not as keyed up all the time, which that's a good thing. And the other thing I've noticed is it is becoming easier to break that habit. I still like the taste of coffee, but now it's not a thing where I can't function without it. So that's a good thing. So I'm excited about that. But what are you guys excited about? You got any victories? Do you have any questions? We want to do this for a lot of the new people. Sign out and come back in. Gene, did that work for you? Anyway. Well, one of the things I did want to share with you guys, whether you're engaging for the first time or re-engaging after a sabbatical, is finding out what your why is. And it sounds woo-woo, it sounds kind of hokey maybe, but I was dealing with a new client that we're getting ready to onboard, a personal client of ours, and she had the typical things of, well, I just want to lose some fat, I want to lose some weight, and help me how to do it. Tell me, tell me, tell me. And I said, au contraire, we need to get you invested in this a little bit more. Hello from East Tennessee. I spent 25 years over in Johnson Silly Tennis Shoe, and just over the mountain now in Asheville. Hello, Alice. Good to have everybody here. Yeah, so we were talking about if you have any victories from this past week, just to kind of help reset your mind going into a new week. But also, I was going to talk about one of the common things that gets maybe overlooked early on when someone starts to do, be it keto, ketovore, anywhere on that PhD spectrum, is they don't have clearly defined goals in place. In particular, why you're doing it. And so I had this. I have this new client that's we're onboarding, and she has fallen victim to the, I just want to lose some weight. Show me how to do it, and just give me a plan to do it, and I'll do it. And I said, you need to figure out why you're going to do this. Well, I want to lose weight. I want to lose fat. Okay. Not to say that that's not good enough, but that's not good enough. You need to know why, because hard times will come. Anyone who's done this for an hour will realize temptations are going to come, hard decisions are going to have to be made, and sometimes it's just you're going to wonder, why am I doing this? Why is this even worth it? Whether it's I don't want to get to the gym, I don't want to I want that donut, I don't want to have to change my habits, my mental habits, my physical habits. I like parking close, I don't want to take the stairs, whatever it is. So when things get tough, what's going to keep you going? Because the emotional commitment that you have to do something has to be stronger than the emotional pull to not do something, to turn tail and run when it gets difficult. And so just some questions that I typically ask folks, some new folks, and ask yourself this: what would your life how would your life be different if you were able to achieve these health goals that you've outlined? What would be different? And that's the first question. And Julie and I did a video with Coach Bronson Dant, and it was about, does your why make you cry? Meaning, drill down, drill down, drill down to where you can find something that's going to be emotional, something that you can latch onto, so that no matter what happens, that's what it is. If it's just a number on a scale, you're gonna quit. If it's just, well, I want to look good in my new outfit, you're gonna quit. But when it's something very meaningful, now those are very real concerns of yours, very real goals maybe, and I'm not discounting those. I'm just saying, is that going to keep you in the fight when you're in the foxhole by yourself? And Bronson, he details this out in this interview that we did very, very well. So I would recommend that you go get that. No more diabetes. Huzzah! That is something to be celebrated. Celebrate that. My goodness. So let me pry a little bit. How long had you had diabetes? Had you had that diagnosis? Oh, here's another question to really think about. So you're getting some goals down, and we did a video on some SMART goals too, which are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That's a SMART goal. So you've got those. What have been some barriers in creating these health changes in yourself? If any of you are like me, I tried everything under the sun to try and lose weight. I grew up the heavy kid, and then it was yo-yo between overtraining on cardio and starving myself. So and Nutrisystem and Weight Watchers and this one and that one. So I did all kinds of goofy stuff, and it never seemed to work. What what barriers might you have had to doing that? Was it maybe a negative spouse or a negative home life? Maybe people messing with you at work or at school. Is there something that held you back from achieving that? Was it the program itself? I don't know. Things to think about as you start to set new goals. Um, and here's a good one that a lot of people kind of dismiss is, how do you feel a health coach will help you achieve your goals? Now, that's health coaching in the broadest sense. It could be group coaching, like on a YouTube or in a online community. It, it could mean small group coaching, like a short-term challenge. It could be one-on-one coaching for a 90-day intensive, run. It could be ongoing on a monthly, kind of maintenance and just someone to bounce ideas off of and be accountable to. All of those fall under the headline of health coaching. How do you feel that health coaching in general would help you achieve those goals? So something to think about. Now let me get back to these comments. You want to avoid, Alice says she wants to avoid Alzheimer's like her mom and her siblings. That's a good goal. That is, and that's Jean's goal too. And that's a healthy, noble goal. And I say, huzzah, I say, keep at it. A proper human diet can help you do that. There have been studies, I don't have them off the top of my head, but you can do a quick search on PubMed. You can find a lot of research that can corroborate a proper human diet, a ketogenic diet, with suppressing Alzheimer's, delaying it, or not at all. And I would highly encourage you, if you guys are readers, read the book Brain Energy by Dr. Chris Palmer. He discusses this at length. He talks about the mitochondrial role in all of this. And he's from Harvard, so he knows his stuff. Brain Energy, Dr. Chris Palmer. Definitely worth the read or the listen on Audible. Shirley, have lost 68 so far with 108 to go. That's a pretty good start. Had back, knee, ankle pain, heart problems, stage 3 chronic kidney disease, diabetes, type 2, hypertension, and cancer. You're cancer free but want to stay that way. Amen. Amen. A proper human diet will do that. Now, Shirley, let me ask you, if you're comfortable, what way of eating had you been doing when you got all of these diagnoses, and then what are you doing now? Is it low carb, paleo, keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion? Where on the proper human diet spectrum are you right now, and for how long? So several things there, but that's a good goal. Delaying or removing, taking Alzheimer's off the table, more or less. No guarantees. And just let me, disclaimer: I'm a health coach. I'm not a doctor, and even if I were, I'm not your doctor. My wife is a nurse, but she's not your nurse. So just understand, this is not to be taken as medical advice. This is not to be in place of treatment from your provider, a care plan that has been given to you. This can be, I'd like to think of this as something, maybe some great conversation starters if you want to talk to your provider about that. So keep that in mind. We are going to be descriptive here, not prescriptive. Fair enough? Okay. Disclaimer done. Let's see. Lack of supportive family, having 2 ways of eating in my house. Okay, so you were standard American diet, Alice was. And lack of support from family and having 2 ways of eating, that can be a challenge. Personally, for me, it was a challenge because right at the beginning of COVID, when everyone was sheltering in place, here I am. That's when I got tired of being sick and tired all the time, literally, and said, I'm going to change something. I want to make it for real. and I had started to research different ways of eating, and then by a god wink, Dr. Ken Berry showed up in my feed among others, and so I just started doing a deep dive. And my wife, who is a nurse, a healthcare professional, who had been trained and steeped in that conventional wisdom, she didn't buy into it. She said, "You're going to kill yourself." She said, "How can you do that? How can you eat, all this, no grains? Grains are healthy for you, right? No fruit, or very, very, very limited on a keto diet. Oh, you're gonna add fat and red meat? Are you kidding me?" So it was a challenge, but all I can say is persevere, because, and I heard this years ago, you can't argue with a changed life. Within 3 months, I had dropped my triglycerides in half, from 488 to like 240 something. So, and that was, it was pretty dangerously high. So, huzzah. I had lost about 30 pounds at that point, and things were trending. My blood pressure was coming down. I was able to reduce my medication with a consult with my doctor. Paola is in the hizzy. How are you doing? So yeah, but it didn't happen overnight. So I'm in a household with a healthcare professional, and as time goes on, she begins to see these changes, and she went from not believing it's going to work at all to, I'd like to believe. I'm starting to see things. I hope it lasts. 6 months in, I'm off all my blood pressure medications. Everything's starting to level out. Blood lipids are looking normal, and so things are looking good. Now she starts to take notice, not just as my wife, but as a healthcare professional. Why is that happening? That's not supposed to happen from what I was trained on. So understand this. If you're in a household with more than one way of eating, it can be a challenge. I totally get that. I've been there. But also, from a healthcare perspective, they've been trained a certain way. Maybe your spouse or other family members have been trained a certain way. They just grew up with it. You can have that strong, silent example, and then they can just wonder what happened. And like I said, you can't argue with a changed life. So stay the course would be the message for that. And it's not easy. And yes, sometimes it got really tough mentally and emotionally for me. And find a community, find somebody, whether it's within the PhD community, whether it's another one, if you have your own health coach, but find somebody, a trusted person that you can go to, and you can just say, "I'm struggling." We're on the fringe of mental health and emotional health at that point, but that's part of it. See, I believe in a whole person, all encompassing care plan, if you will, for taking control of your health. You want to have something that's going to handle the physical, the mental and emotional, the activity and the rest, because they all work together. They all complement each other. You see, I talk to a lot of people, and all they want to do is focus on my macros, and everything else doesn't even matter. It's my macros. Other people, oh, well, if you remove all of that out of your diet, you're going to be fine. Nothing else really matters. Oh, you can eat kind of whatever you want as long as you get 9 hours of sleep a night. Well, as long as you're lifting, progressive overload, 3 times a week, you can eat what you want. See, it's going to be unbalanced. You need to get something that's going to hit everything. So that's why, find a trusted person who you can confide in that can support you. That's very important. Fortunately for me, I ultimately found that in my home, but I understand that's not going to be everybody. So, Alice, I will just say, stay the course. Find somebody you can reach out to. Even within Dr. Berry's community, there's plenty of coaches on the coaches panel. Find one that they say your vibe will find your tribe. Your vibe will draw your tribe. That's it. Find someone you relate to, and just reach out and just say, "Hey, I'm struggling. Can you give me a few minutes of thumb time?" Let's see, what else have we got? Let's see, saw that one. Oh yeah, you knew it was a horrible diet before. Yeah, yeah. That's one thing, Alice, that you just didn't know what you didn't know and what you know now. Yeah, standard American diet is not a good diet. It's just not. Research has proven that out. But you didn't know. Forgive yourself. Move on. You are where you are now. Fix yourself, and then start showing other people, and people will ask. And the ones that ask, that's who you want to talk to. Let's see, Shirley, sad before switching between carnivore and keto for about 2 years. Okay, well, good stuff. The only thing I am genuinely curious, no judgment, simply curious. Why would you go from keto to carnivore? And is there somewhere in between? Do you slide through that and transition, or is it just a jump like a cold turkey? And then I'm like Dr. Berry. I'm doing carnivore, but I'm going to cheat on it with keto. I only ask that because sometimes people will have some reactions, maybe a gut reaction, maybe you know who knows. But sometimes by going kind of cold turkey-ish, it can cause some distress. So, and have you experienced that, or has it been smooth sailing for you? Let us know, because I am genuinely curious. Let's see. Oh, Paola says really hard to convince nurses unless they're really smart and open-minded. It's very tough to get through to them. Yeah, because pardon me. A couple of things. She said, they're hard to get through. They can be smart, but they can also be set in their ways. They've been taught this way. It's been drilled into their head for so long. What is it? I forget who said it originally, but a mind is like a parachute. It only operates when it's open. And so, yes, you don't get through nursing school because you're not smart or you can't follow, rules. But again, if you stop there and you don't learn any further, you're going to always get what you've always gotten. The other thing is that the medical industry as a whole is so short-staffed lately, overworked, underpaid. We've all heard it, and they're having to just churn and burn through the exam rooms. They don't have time to stop and talk and relearn anymore, unless they do it on their own time, and then they've got lives too. So, I mean, it's a catch-22, unfortunately. They have to, from my experience, they have to have a personal reason for that. In our case, in Julie's case, I was changing my lifestyle for the better through a ketogenic diet, so she saw it firsthand, as well as, if you've watched our video series, number 3 is coming up. The final is coming up this week. She had bariatric surgery, and then is now using a PhD, a proper human diet, for the maintenance and to control that post bariatric with its own idiosyncrasies and nuance. So she had a spouse that was dealing with this, as well as a vested personal interest. So what I've seen a lot of times is when a healthcare provider has a personal interest, either in their household or personal to themselves, they tend to be a little bit more open-minded. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah, Paola, yes, avoid groups with a lot of drama, because you don't need drama. You've got enough of your own. You don't need anybody else's. And when going back to that, when you talk to that confidant, that person you're wanting to vent to or unload or get their honest opinion, and that needs to be a two-way street too. It needs to be, I want to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. That's a true friend. But you also have to understand that, and if you are that person for somebody else, if they're coming to you and they maybe have a situation or some drama, always remember, just because they come to you with maybe some baggage or a monkey on their back, make sure when they leave that monkey is not on your back too. We're here to help each other, but we can't solve problems for each other. I've learned that the hard way too. Sometimes you want something so bad, you want it more for somebody than they want it for themselves, and then it's just you're perceived as being pushy or criticism or whatever. They've got to want to make a change. You can't force anybody. I know that's tough too. Ah, that's good. Hey, Sherry. Good evening. Yeah, as Gene says, my GP is very interested in this way of life. Good. You know, Dr. Barry has said, change your doctor or change your doctor. Well, you can change your doctor in a good way. If they're open-minded, my doctor, he's the same way. He's got a background in sports nutrition. I'm sorry, sports medicine rather. But he's got a little bit more, because of that, involvement in nutrition. And he just looked at my chart and he said, "Oh, over the last 3 years, you've done this and this. You fixed your metabolism. Keep doing what you're doing." I don't. And he says, "I don't fully understand all that and how it works with the lipids, especially, but overall, you're pretty good. Keep at it." So again, this is not to toot my horn, but like I've said before, and I'll continue to say, you can't argue with a changed life. That's in a proper human diet. That's in life. So yeah, just be that example. Let's see, Joanne, my first live with you. Oh, well, welcome. Just got back from the second walk today. Oh, hot in, where are you? Move my mouse. Oh, in South Carolina. Well, we're right up the street in North Crackalacken. It's hot. It was hot, and I was out there doing yard work, and I didn't post anything today about it, but I post a lot about me doing yard work simply because it's a great workout. Because I don't, first of all, I no longer pay someone to mow my lawn, so I'm saving some money there too. Some people call me a cheapskate, Julie. But I don't even use a gas-powered mower or an electric mower. I use the old-fashioned reel mower, where you push it with the little rotary thing. Yeah, that's me. And man, that's a good all body workout. It's primarily in a fat max zone, but hey, there's some hills and I'll push myself to get into that next zone, that get the heart rate up. And yeah, you leave it all on the floor when you're done with that. And I'll use the manual edger, but yeah, it's hot up here too. Oh, let's see. 4 nurses in my family and one's on meds except, yeah, Joey, you're right. Yeah, they're on meds. They think you're killing yourself. It's hard to change them. You can't change them. The only thing that can change them is them recognizing the change in you. And then being, okay, we're getting into some mental stuff here. They have to be humble enough to ask you, especially when they're family or close friends. That can be a challenge. Don't hold that against them. But you have to understand, you can't change anybody. They have to change themselves. It's just a sad truth. And when you want something for somebody so bad, but they don't see it, they don't get it. All I can do is pray for them and just say, Lord, open their eyes to something that will work for them. If it's what I'm doing or if it's something similar, help them find what they need and what they're willing to accept. Friends and daughters are nurses, and it's the biggest mess. Yeah, you can't get through to them. Yeah, you're right, Paolo. You can't. Even seeing their mothers do. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't want to feel 113 degree heat. Sorry, no. Pass. Oh my goodness. Those internet doctors, them internet doctors ain't even real doctors. Yeah, we agree to disagree. Yeah, I posted something the other day from, who was it? It was about lipids from Dr. Nader Ali, who's a cardiac intervention surgeon for a few decades down in Texas. And he's also a specialist in ketogenic diets and lipids. And this guy, and I'll be honest, I love his stuff. His information is just spot on. He's not the friendliest in front of the camera. The camera doesn't like him too much. He's kind of dry, um, but he's super knowledgeable. But the thing is, this other critic said, "Oh, all he cares about is his YouTube empire," which he doesn't even have. He's got a decent following, but it's all they care about is they're greedy, caring about their YouTube empires more than they care about seeing actual patients. I got nothing for you, dude. So again, agree to disagree. Oh yeah, he's great. Him and Paul Mason, both of those guys are just great. Um, so I'll come back to my question from earlier. Uh, how do you feel? This is a question from earlier. How do you feel that health coaching in general, whether it's general group, small group, or a challenge, one-on-one for a 90-day intensive, or just an ongoing monthly, check-in, how do you feel health coaching can help you achieve your goals? I'll wait. And if you're joining late, this is decaf because I'm still on my caffeine fast. But like I said, I have noticed my heart rate is steadily trending to being more relaxed, so that's a good thing for me. Oh my gosh, I just saw the time. I definitely want to be respectful of people's times. So what do you guys think? You think coaching is a good thing, a bad thing? Keep you accountable. That's something that, again, one of the other questions was what's been a barrier to keep you from that? And I would, if I was Steve Harvey or Richard Dawson from back in the day, survey said, I'm sure that's going to be the top answer. I need someone to keep me accountable, hold my feet to the fire, light a fire under my rear end. That is the biggest one because we're starting to realize we can't necessarily trust ourselves or to be honest with ourselves. Oh, sorry, have I triggered you, Paola? Oh, whoa, my chat just went crazy. Oh yeah, it's always going to be good to get with a coach. Always. Well, listen, I'm going to sign off here. Let you guys get back to your eating. I just wanted to come on here, and I'm going to come on here on Sunday nights, primarily for new people, people who are engaging for the first time, or re-engaging after a sabbatical. You want to really get started with this. Bring your questions, bring your concerns, bring your victories, scale and non-scale, because we definitely want to help build a community of people, and especially, and I know firsthand that it can be very difficult. Even since I kind of got around all of this, this keto verse, um, it was noisy then, 3 4 years ago. It's gotten noisier. It's gotten tougher to figure out where the heck do I even start? Why should I start? How do I do it? What are my next steps? This one says I need to do these steps. Well, this one says I have this protocol unless there's this subset of this protocol. How do you make sense of it all? That's why I want to do this every Sunday night, and just to get a good mental reset to go into the week. So anyway, guys, I hope these are helpful. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Everybody have a